Get signed in quick, quick,
Welcome.
because we have an on-time drawing of good stuff. All right, let's get started. Welcome to, what day is it?
It's Friday Eve, as I like to call it.
It's my birthday version of the business meeting. But we can't get started yet until I take my jog.
It's his birthday. Yes.
I love it.
Where's the sign-in sheet?
They brought
Who
it
stole
up
the
here.
sign-in sheet?
It's up there for you.
What the hell? You know, I have a routine. All right. You guys,
They were trying to slow
I
you down.
scared that gal out there. She jumped out of her chair. I don't think she's used to me. Not many people are.
That's so funny.
All right. What number do you guys want?
3.
11.
3, 11,
7.
7,
9.
2. Bien.
That's me.
Yeah. What did Bien
I
get?
like it.
What the hell is this?
Whoa, wow. Perfume.
On your birthday.
Whoa, we're gonna.
It's a surprise, you can open it. All right, we also have folders, mouse pad, other stuff.
I like
Nice.
Lots of other stuff.
Right.
Nice, nice stuff.
That is, I think it's a pen set, is that what that is?
It's a pen and a really nice notebook. The pen is awesome.
There you go.
We need a
Where is
pen.
it?
They're signed at the
Yeah,
notebook.
there you go.
Inside the notebook.
Fancy.
For signing all those listing
There you go.
agreements.
There's
All right, congratulations, Bien.
Thank you
very nice.
Somebody called me to wish me a happy birthday. Did I answer it? All right. No, I didn't. All right. Make sure you take pictures throughout the meeting, and at the end, check in on Facebook, check in at the Realty One Group Southwest office, and take pictures, take selfies, take group pictures, whatever you want. This is our Rev Up training coming up. We're coming to the end of this round of Rev Up. So tomorrow is Module 8, Finding Motivated Sellers and Preparing to Win the Listing. Jeff will be the instructor on that, 9 to 11 at the Summerlin office and via Zoom. And then next Friday, next Friday is winning the listing and negotiating the sale. And then after that, closing the sale and creating clients for life. All of these 3 classes, again, are at the Summerlin office and via Zoom. All right, Jennifer, our breakfast sponsor, Jennifer Weinberg, is a business broker in town. Anybody asks me, hey, do you know a business broker? Yeah, call Jennifer. Here's her number. So tell us a little bit about what you do, Jennifer.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, you guys, this morning. So probably you guys have seen me before. I've actually been an agent 25 years. I can't believe it. But I started out in residential like you guys. Probably year 8, I decided I wanted to be a business broker and a commercial agent. So now I do business acquisition. I've been doing it 15 years. So when you guys, you are that first call, whether they need a plumber, an Italian restaurant, like whatever they need, they're gonna call their realtor. Try to capture that lead because the commissions are they're more for us than for you guys. So our referral fees, just so you know, to an average realtor is the same as a house purchase. So try to capture that lead, but keep in mind too, not only do we sell businesses, but if you guys have maybe you're listing a house and it's a divorced couple and they have a business, or maybe they just need an evaluation, there's a partnership, we can piecemeal that too for their businesses. So anyone that's like gas stations, convenience stores, bars, anything like that, laundromats, any kind of business acquisition, remember my name, or if you don't remember my name, just ask Mark. But pretty much everyone knows me in town. I'm actually incoming president for CALV for next year. I'm pretty involved at that level as well, so I'm putting on classes. You guys might see my name. I hope you guys will come to the classes at LBR too. We're trying to mix it up a little bit for you guys, because it's like the same old stuff all the time for CE. So that's really my focus, actually coming in as president for CELB, is to kind of change up the education a little bit for you guys. So anyway, I just wanted to come in and introduce myself, and if you guys need any business acquisition at all, just give me a call.
Awesome.
I have a question.
So,
Yeah,
You're not licensed in California, correct?
no, I'm not.
Okay, well, California, you don't have to have a
That's correct.
business license. I am a licensed realtor in California, so if you have any businesses you need to sell in California, I can help you with that.
Awesome, give me a card. Yeah,
There you
absolutely.
all right, so Realty One Group does not do business brokering. So if you have any businesses that need to be sold or bought, reach out to me. I can give you Jennifer's information or get her information.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
She recently taught a class and she said she had 100 people at her class.
My first class,
Yeah,
yeah.
there's a rush to it, isn't there?
It's good to educate yourself.
All right, thank you, Jennifer. So, some announcements. So there's the food truck out there, that way. You can walk there, in the same center. Every Thursday, food truck. And today's food truck is Street Kings. They have food. I don't know what they have. They're called Street Kings. They have food. So go check it out. I haven't eaten there. I don't know what they. Anybody know what Street Kings has?
I'm gonna look them up right now.
Good food.
Food. Food. They have
Cajun
food.
shrimp sandwich, 3-meat platter, pecan steak sandwich, pecan steak tacos, top sirloin burger.
Nice.
A mixture.
Yes.
All right.
Put you to sleep.
May 1st. Are we full on this? All right. We're full. So those that wanted to
Let's see.
join us, sorry.
Next year.
This we're not full on.
There you go.
This you don't even have to RSVP for. This is our Cinco de Mayo. Every year we do a Cinco de Mayo celebration, and Rock Title is helping us in providing the taco lady who comes and whips up some tacos for us. She does a really good job. We've had her, several years now. We're going to be out in the courtyard, so tacos, games, maybe some alcohol. Knowing us, there's no maybe about that. So and lots of good friends, lots of good. So
And it's on the 3rd.
it's
Yes,
on
May
the
3rd.
yeah, it's the race day
Race
Mayo.
to Mayo.
Race day Mayo. What day of the week is that?
Friday.
Friday. Perfect.
That's the
All right.
Mayo.
What's that? That's next Friday, isn't
Yes,
it?
yes it is.
A week from tomorrow. All right, cool. No business meeting next Thursday. Because we're doing that and that, so we don't have that. Does that make sense? That and that, so we don't have that. But we do have this, hydrating the homeless. Again, I say it every week that we're getting to summer here. It's already in the 90s, and it's not long from getting into hundreds and then into the 110s. And there's the homeless are out there. As much as we like to put our blinders on and don't see them sometimes, I still feel for them, and if we could do one small thing and provide them with some water. Now, if you don't want to go down to Walmart or Sam's Club or Costco and go physically pick the water up, send me some money and I will, when I say I, me and Jake, we'll go down and pick the water up. One very, very generous agent, I don't know if Anastasia wants me to mention her name, but she sent over $100 in order for water. So thank you. I really appreciate that. So water, we have a goal. 4,000 bottles is our goal. So let's not only hit that goal, but let's exceed that goal as we do every
So
year.
where are you now?
short of that goal.
By what, 3,900?
Not quite that far. All right, also in July 16th to the 19th is the Mike Ferry Superstar Retreat. He always puts on a great event with great information, informative and motivating. So think about going to that. It's $325 early bird pricing through April 30th, which is what, next Tuesday is April 30th?
Are you going, Mark?
I'm gonna try, yeah. Yeah. All right, this is possibly my favorite event that we do.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna do this.
Yeah, you gotta do it.
I mean,
Yeah, it's awesome. So we have an event at the Aviators. It's open up not only to this office, but all 4 offices. And the tickets are $48 a piece. You not only get entrance into the game, but we have a whole section that's roped off just for us. And they have a full-on, buffet of stuff. What was some of the food that they had last year? Do you remember? You were there, weren't you?
I was the year previous.
Yeah, you weren't the good year. Good year was last year. But yeah, they're full-on, burgers and hot dogs and chicken and desserts,
Mashed-
cookies.
What, not mashed potatoes, but it was potato salad.
Potato salad. They do a really, really good job. It's a lot of fun and
Beer?
good
Yes.
to watch. Was there's beer part of it?
Well, beer wasn't part of it. There's beer for purchase.
All right, so, mark your calendars, July, where is it?
Right towards the bottom.
There you go.
The big number that says
It's
20?
a Saturday for
Thank you.
It's his birthday.
Yes,
Oh, there it is. Took me a while. All right, so baseball, it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of people that went last year and the year before that really don't like baseball, but they went anyways and had a good time. All right, let's talk about some stats. Active listings. First time I've seen it up over 5,000 in a little while. So listings are going up, sales are going up a little bit, so they're good. But our month's inventory is hanging in there. Like last 3 or 4 weeks has been 2 months. So that's not changing. That tells us again that we are in a seller's market, that we need to be listing homes. Let's compare this to last week's. So last week's was 49.76. This week's 5,000. We're at 36.77, and we're at 36. So both those numbers went up slightly. And again, last week was also 2 months of inventory. So get this information, put it on your social media. We provide this to you. It's emailed to you in the newsletter. It's put in our social media accounts. So grab it and put it in your social media, again, so that you're educating your buyers and sellers, or you're out there, you look like the real estate expert that you are. All right, Stacia, what's going on with home warranty?
Stacey's very happy that it's windy today and cooling down, so.
Yeah.
It was my first AC call yesterday, so, well, that I was informed of, and it wasn't, everybody when they have an AC call is, fragile in health, and,
It's an
you know,
emergency.
it's what, and so, I put this out here though, this is just a little comparison. Sometimes it's good when you're talking with clients so that they do understand the difference between homeowners insurance and home warranties. How many people on a monthly basis place a claim on their homeowners insurance? How many people try very hard to never place a claim on their homeowner's insurance? If it's possible, if it can be avoided. Yeah, so, but people don't hesitate, and they shouldn't, to place a claim on their home warranty. We are the one product that stays a year after the sale, where you have, with Old Republic, a built-in follow-up system to contact them, to talk to them about how much money they've saved. And it's just something to help when you're taking the listings. You get the closing, you've given them well, and I don't know if this will change with everything, maybe you have a dual representation, I know a lot of states don't allow that. I don't know what's gonna change, just like you guys, but you know, you put the seller's coverage on. I hope everybody's utilizing seller's coverage. It doesn't cost your client anything to have free seller's coverage unless they have a claim and they have to pay the trade call fee. To me, it's a no-brainer to add it as a value add when you're doing listing presentations. They get up to $1,500 of repair or replacements, not from the laundry list that you get from the home inspection. Now it's a known existing condition. But you know, the biggest thing that fails during listing for some reason is the dishwasher. My guess is that people don't use it actively during the time they live there, but then the appraiser comes in and the inspector comes in and something seizes up. And you know, even if it's a $2,000 dishwasher, if it fails, then you have somebody on the other side that says, I don't know, I can't come up with $2,000 to replace that. Where if your seller, again, cap of $1,500, but if it's just $500 difference, if they need to replace it, it can keep that deal on track. You don't want the deal to go off track. And if something fails later down the road, once someone has moved in, we've had coverage over here to know that it didn't have a problem. It wasn't pre-existing. And so there's a greater likelihood of us covering it in the paid buyer's policy because it failed from normal wear and tear. They aren't gonna, and then to follow into with this is that, you know, if there's a structural problem, if there's a root that comes up in the driveway and they need to trench or whatever, that's their homeowner's insurance. But it's so much more likely for an appliance, an electrical issue, a plumbing issue to occur when people live there. And so letting them know what the difference is and where that value is, because even if they buy the highest end plan, let's say for 2 years, because we do have 2-year options, and you're sitting at $1,580, but they replace the water heater, they have an electrical issue, they get their garbage disposal taken care of, their payback, you know, it comes out as a wash at the end, and so it can just help them to not have to, again, it's not an emergency service, but they, you know, take a couple days and not have to pay that money out of pocket, not have to sit on the phone and find their own contractor to come out, have recourse if something happens, you know, or they aren't happy, because that's where we can step in and help facilitate. And then you, as their agent, get notification when they've had service. It's a great time to reach out to them. If you don't know they had service, it's a great time to reach out to them. That built-in, natural, organic follow-up. Hey, I see you had a plumbing issue and it was taken care of, and it cost this much, and then we give you a running total at the bottom too. It's just a great time to reach out to them. If you do know that they have the claim, now you know it's closed out, you can follow up and make sure they're happy. And if they're not, or if there's an issue, that's, you know, I can't cover what we don't cover, but I'm here to help facilitate.
You'll personally go out there and fix it yourself.
I won't, because I'm not licensed in the way that my company requires. But I'm also a really good resource if somebody has an issue. I have 20 years of multifamily property management in my history, and I know how to fix way too many things, just not licensed. So if somebody has a question or you're not really sure, something's not working right, use me as a resource just for information. I mean, it doesn't have to turn into a policy or, you know, but use me as a, hey, I have a question. And I don't mean to hold you up, but I'm gonna say, sometimes it's the thing you don't think of. I had a resident one time that would call me every day when she got home from work and say her AC wasn't cooling. And every maintenance person that I had checked it out. I called this AC company after they couldn't. I called this AC company. And it was just, we were so confused because it was working just fine. And one day she said to me, she goes, I got home and I turned my AC on and it's not cooling. And I said, do you turn your AC off every day when you leave the house? Well, she goes, yeah, I'm trying to save money. I go, oh my God. You know, it's gonna take, in the middle of summer, so much more energy to cool that down, and it's not gonna happen in 20 minutes. It may not happen in 2 hours, especially when you're on the 3rd level of a southwest facing apartment, you know? So there's some questions that I might have experience in where you say, hey, my client is saying this, that, that or the other, and I can say, hey, have they changed their filter? Are they shutting it off during the day? Have they done X, Y, Z? And it might save them money whether they have a warranty or not. So please utilize me as a resource of knowledge. I certainly don't know everything. But I also have a lot of people that I can ask. I have a licensed handyman that lives in my home that has a lot of knowledge. And so I have some resources to help with questions and answers that can help save your clients money. So if you aren't working with someone, even just from a business standpoint, not orders, that you like, trust, or have confidence in, put me in your phone.
I have a question.
Oh, yeah.
So how should you run your AC unit? I mean, is there certain times you just keep it off? I mean, what?
You should, I don't, in the summer out
Keep
here,
it set about 75 to 80.
So in
When
the-
you're not there.
in the
Right.
summer out here, I would never recommend turning it off.
Right.
At the highest temperature I would ever leave it at is 85. And that's not comfortable, but that's a temperature that is safe, that it's not gonna damage other appliances from the heat, because you can damage other things in the house because it just gets too hot.
Right.
So 85 is not comfortable.
No.
If you have pets, 80, would be the highest I would keep it.
Right.
And then when you get home, putting it down a little bit.
Uh-huh.
But I would never shut it off in the summer, because the amount of energy that it uses to get it to cool the house down completely defers what you didn't use while you were not at home and it was off.
Yeah. I'm able to shut it off right now though, for a little slightly.
Oh yeah, well you know what, I don't even shut it, I don't shut it off. I turn it, like last night I turned mine up to 80 and I opened the windows.
I like it.
Now, on the flip side, I just put solar in last summer, so if it does kick in, but this morning I closed everything up and, and put it down a little bit. But that way, if it does happen to get too hot,
Your solar.
then, but I wouldn't shut it off really at all.
I never do.
Yeah, it's just, and then just making sure that you're changing out your filters.
Yes.
The other thing that is an invaluable investment
thing.
annually, the last thing, is having your system serviced at least once a year. Not a tune-up. We offer a tune-up, a full service. I don't know that the value is there, because a full service cleans the coils. And when you have a claim and somebody comes out and they say, oh, your coils are dirty, they need to be cleaned, I can fix that for you for $250, but you've already paid the trade call fee and this and that. Just have an annual service come out and clean the coils. It'll take care of 80% of cooling issues. And it just is really good for the system, because things get through that filter, and it's just an invaluable investment to make, so.
Thank you very much, Stacy.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tisha, appreciate you. All right, next up we have Rock Title. Where'd she go?
She had a 10 o'clock meeting, but if anybody wants to sign up for her CE class, reach out to her.
CE class, when is it?
It is May 15th from 9:30 to 12:30.
We didn't get a flyer.
May 15th from 9:30 to 12:30.
There's flyers out there on the table
Okay, for Felicia?
Yes.
Okay.
for CE class.
What is the class?
It is
It's
home
3
is
CE
possible
credits.
home buyer program for 3-hour general CE.
A lending, something to do with lending. All right. Let's talk about the NAR settlement.
Yeah.
What are you guys hearing?
They signed the paperwork? I mean, they signed.
Kind of, yeah.
It jumped 2 days ago.
Yeah.
In the,
So they did NAR, they submitted a settlement, and we've had the discussion that the settlement has to be approved by the court system in order for this all to take place. Well, they got a preliminary approval 2 days ago. What that means is the courts looked at it and said, yeah, this looks good to me. I think we'll probably approve it.
Crazy.
It's not formally approved yet, but it kind of is. The formal approval won't be coming until November. But that doesn't mean that everything won't go into effect. Everything will, because of the preliminary approval, everything will go into effect in July. So what does that mean? Scary shit, that's what it means.
Now what?
Contracts are changed.
It just means our business is changing. Our business has changed so much in the 29 years I've been doing this. and this is probably the biggest change, but the big change is the commissions aren't going to be on the MLS anymore, all right? Does that mean the sellers aren't going to be offering commissions out? No, not necessarily.
What paperwork would we sign, or are you guys gonna provide that for us?
Yeah, so, that's a great point, is there will be a lot of changes in forms. I venture to guess, and I know for a fact that, LVR and NVR are working feverishly on, changes to, our forms, whether it be the listing agreement, the purchase agreement, the buyer brokerage agreement, and creating new forms. So what's gonna happen is, when we're working with buyers, that's the other change, is buyers are gonna have to be in a buyer brokerage agreement now, and you need to have the conversation about commission. You have to have, it's your business, what is your time worth? What do you charge? Whether it's 1 banana, 2 bananas, 3 bananas, 4, whatever it is, only one that got it. Whatever it is, you put it in your buyer brokerage agreement and let them know, we're going to show, we're gonna see these houses, but I'm gonna find out beforehand what the seller is offering in commission. If they're not offering, the 4 bananas, you're going to have to come in with the difference. It takes a really, really good buyer presentation, which we all have to get really good at in our buyer presentations. There's still a lot of unanswered questions. I mean, one of the big questions is, what happens if you're doing an open house and a client comes in, a potential client comes in? Do you automatically have to get a buyer brokerage agreement signed? Question's not answered yet. We don't know. A lot of these questions will be answered. I'm guessing on that one, you're gonna have some sort of sign-in sheet that has some sort of verbiage about commissions in there. But as a company, we're working diligently on coming out with best practices. We're coming out with a lot more trainings on, I talk a lot about, a buyer presentation and buyer brokerage, but you have to be a really good listing agent too. You have to talk about that commission and the value of offering the commission out to the buyer's agents or buyer's brokerage's side.
I have a question
First you do.
regarding because I work with a lot of flip investors, right?
Okay.
These people, they basically, they'll work with whoever brings them the deal. So how is that gonna work if I say, hey, you gotta sign a buyer broker agreement,
Yeah.
and
So,
is there gonna be like?
for you, that's not a bad question. But here's what you could do, is you could have a buyer brokerage agreement for one property.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Isolated.
So a buyer brokerage agreement doesn't have to be 6 months. It could be for a day, it could be for one property, it could be for a week, but it will be required. And I'll tell you, I did real estate in Utah for 5 years. Buyer brokerage agreements were mandatory in Utah. It was no big deal. It really wasn't. It's buyer brokerage agreements mandatory in 16 states. It's no big deal in those 16 states. And it will become no big deal here. It will become our, what we do day in and day out. And so it's going to change how we do business, but we'll be able to get through it. And again, as a company, we're coming out with best practices. Also, you may have seen the announcement that Realty One Group has settled as well. So some of these other companies that have settled, we were in that over $2 billion where we kind of were protected under the settlement, we kind of weren't. Well, we've settled, and so we're like, good. So that's like great news. So any questions at all on the whole NAR lawsuit settlement stuff?
What form will we sign now if we get the commissions now in the MLS and we have to go to the seller to.
Oh, what is the
And then
name
he's
of
still
that
willing
form?
to pay,
Yeah,
but.
Change in co-op.
the change in co-op, thank you, Judy.
Mhm.
That's all it is, just a change in co-op.
Change in co-op,
Yep.
okay,
And that
And
has to be
send
signed by-
that over before writing the purchase agreement.
before they offer,
Yeah.
okay.
And it's both agents
Before
and both
Oh, I see,
brokers.
change in co-op.
What's that?
Okay.
It's both agents and both brokers, not the
Yeah.
clients.
Before the offer.
All right,
Okay.
let's move on. We have new lock boxes. Who knew we had new lock boxes? Yeah, and in the past, when we got new lock boxes, we took our old ones down, traded them in for the new ones. Well, we don't have, luckily, because that was a pain, we don't have to do that anymore. The old lock boxes are still supported, and the new lock boxes. So we have here, I forget your name.
Anna, that's okay, Anna Peskin.
And she's going to show us all about the new lock boxes. Ooh.
Yes,
Fancy.
shiny.
And talk about all it, all the,
Oh,
everything it has.
yeah, there's no
Yes.
fancy boat.
It's more like the gold one from California. Got a key box at the bottom, right, it pops out,
Yes, it does drop from the bottom.
yeah. Some of the super boxes in
This?
California.
I had somebody take a hammer to mine recently.
Oh, they're a booger, you gotta try to pry it open,
Hey,
and nothing short of a hacksaw.
done. I just left it. Just can't even get it off.
Go back and tell them that loop on the neck is way too small.
Yes, we've heard that quite a bit.
I can tell just by looking at it.
Oh, you have to do your down, oh, there it is, okay.
I learned it.
Sure.
There we go. Thank you.
Okay, so yes, I am Anna Peskin, and I actually work for SentriLock. I've been at the LVR office for about 5 years. They brought me in 5 years ago because there are over 55,000 lock boxes just in LVR alone. So there's 2 of us here, and our cubbies are right before Classroom A, and we're there to help you with all of your lockbox needs, either the lockbox or the app or the website. Jessica is my partner, she's there now. And we change batteries, we update firmware on your boxes, we help you with the app, like I said, and there's a lot of support for you out there. So, what we're gonna do today is basically review the differences between the 2 lock boxes, because yes, this one, have you come across it out on properties yet? Okay, so I'm just gonna go a brief overview on how you open it. It's the same way, really. And I'm gonna go over some best practices for both, though. So when you're out in the field and you're come across both lock boxes, there's some best practices that you should be doing. And then I'll review some of the new features, and I'll talk about the website a little bit. Do any of you go on our website? Do you know we have a website? Okay. We have a website, and there are a couple of things you can do on the website that you can't do on the app, so I'm gonna cover that as well. Real quick brief on that. And then I'll open it up for questions. So I do ask you, save your questions till the end, and then I'll come back to them. So, current Generation 3, what you guys will call the old lock boxes, it's called a Generation 3 in our world. It's Bluetooth access, and it has SentriConnect. Have any of you ever used SentriConnect? No. Okay, so this is, SentriConnect is a separate app we've created for vendors or outside contractors that don't have a SentriKey account. And you can give them access to your lockbox. It's a much more secure way of giving them access because it's Bluetooth generated and instead of one-day codes. Okay, so SentriConnect really will go away from contractor codes, and we prefer you use SentriConnect over one-day codes. It works on this box as well as the new box. One-day codes on this one. And then CBS, how many of you used call before showing? Anybody in here? Okay, it went away, so good. Glad you know you didn't use it, you're not missing it. But we replaced it with access by appointment. So what access by appointment is if you enable it on your
listing, when somebody goes to open that box, they can't open it unless they either have an appointment in showing time or in our system, or you give them a 1-day code. So again, it's just more secure and zeroing in on who you want opening your lockbox. And then contractor codes are going away and they will be replaced with SentriConnect. And that's for both lockboxes. So all of that is the same with both. Actually, on this baby, you cannot use contractor codes and you can't use CBS. All right. Now, the new baby, this is called SentriGuard. And it's mechanical and battery operated, a lot faster. You'll hear the motors. See how fast that was compared to the other one? Okay, and it normally will drop. If not, there's a little tab you pull down. Key bin is inside. This is where you put your keys. It's a larger key bin as well, so you can put more keys in there. And then again, just faster operation overall.
It doesn't drop completely out?
It doesn't drop completely out. And you want to remember that too when you're hanging it on your property. You want to make sure that you give it enough space to drop. We've had so many phone calls from reps out there saying they can't get the key out because where they put it. We can't fix that. We can't help you with that. So make sure you put it on the property knowing that it is going to drop from the bottom, not open up from the front. And then again, vertical key bin, Bluetooth, and touch and show. If you have, if you use your phone for NFC and you, let's say you use your phone to Apple to pay things with, right? It's the same process, NFC. You can actually put your phone up to here and then it will open. So, that is that. And then flex codes. 1-day codes on this box, they expire an hour after you use them. And so sometimes you have to do multiple 1-day codes, right? This one, they're called flex codes, and it's 30 minutes up to 30 days that you can give a flex code for. Okay? All right, so some best practices. You always want to, if you leave here with nothing else today, it's number 1. You always want to renew your credentials by opening the app before you leave. What that does is it renews your credentials with our server, and then you're able to open lockboxes. How many of you get that spinning wheel of death? Right? Okay, if you do this, you won't get that spinning wheel of death. What the app is doing when you go out to like Anthem or those areas that are sketchy with cell service or Wi-Fi, the app is, if you haven't opened it first, it's trying to renew your credentials, it's trying to find a Wi-Fi, it's thinking it's trying to do all that. If you open your app first, renew your credentials, get that green check mark on the app, then when you go out to the properties, you can actually turn off Wi-Fi and the box will open via Bluetooth. You can even put your phone on airplane mode and the box will open via Bluetooth, as long as you've gotten that green check mark.
How long is that good for?
It's good for the day.
23
hours actually.
23-hour cycle.
23 hour, you have to renew it every day, correct.
Well,
It's
no,
kind of
I'm
like the
just-
old
I'm just saying, like,
cards.
if someone goes out at 5 p.m. at night, right? So it's good till 4 o'clock the following day.
No,
That's why I'm asking.
Yeah.
There's a big difference between every day.
yes,
and
every day.
23
It does
cycle.
cut
So-
it that, yeah,
So it kills
Redo
it. It kills it at midnight.
yes, and then you have to start fresh.
Got it.
It's kind of like the old card. Any of you remember the old card? You had to put it in the card reader, renew it, right? It's the same concept. You're renewing your credentials with our server, but you're doing it on the app, okay? All right, and then generation 3, we always ask that you wait for the motors to stop on this baby when it's opening before you close it. You always want to wait for all the motors to stop. There's 2 motors. One releases and the other realigns so it can latch. So several people try to beat that second motor, and that's when the lockbox will jam on you or it won't close for you because you've tried to beat the motor while it's running. And then the SentriGuard one, you can pull down on the tab if it doesn't drop off automatically. And the right way to do a showing is to get the key, close the box, go do your showing, then you come back, you trigger the end of showing, and return the key, okay? Don't leave, especially this baby, do not leave this baby open while you're doing your showings. Probably 8 out of 10 times, it's gonna lock in the open position. And you have to redo the motor for it to close.
That's
Yeah.
okay. I do sometimes do that.
Okay,
Don't
Used to,
do
not
that.
anymore.
you need to take the key, close the box, go do your showing, and then come back.
Yeah.
And how many of you have triggered the end of showing? We put it nice, bright, and red on the app because people were not using it. Please use it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, especially as a listing agent, you know how important that is, right? So be a courteous selling agent as well, and trigger those end of showings. Before you put your lockbox on the property, check the battery date, and you do that at the website, so I'll show you where you do that, and update the firmware. That you can do on your app. Make sure you're putting a box out there that is capable of doing what you want it to do. We have thousands and thousands still lockboxes with 2014 battery dates from when we first got here that have not been touched. And then you call and say, why is it dead? Gee, I don't know. 2014 batteries, it might die on you. So please, that's what Jessica and I are there for. You can bring your block boxes into us, drop them off, and we will service them. We update batteries, update the firmware, test them for you, and then we'll call you when they're done with
Is
them.
there a cost to update the battery?
It's a free service that we offer. It's part of your dues. So free dues, however you want to word it. But no, you can leave them with us and we'll update them for you. Or you can come by and get your own batteries. We give them to you for free. The batteries are supplied because they are pricey batteries. They're CRAs 123s, so they're pricey. But please check it and put it on the property knowing that it works first. Don't just grab one off your shelf that you haven't touched in years. Okay? And then if you are at the property and you are getting that spinning wheel, force close out of all apps running in the background. That's usually one of the culprits also. Force close out of all of your apps and then reopen the app, and that should get you in. Okay? We ask you don't put them on gas meters and you don't put them on water spigots. Electronic lock boxes. Electricity and water, they don't mix. Okay, so, and gas meters, they're not owned by the homeowner, they're owned by that gas company, and they're gonna spray them or they're gonna cut them off, probably.
What about the rain?
And there are some channels in here to avoid it, but if I can tell you for sure, if it's left open in the rain, it's gonna default, it's gonna be a defective box.
Gotcha.
Okay. The other thing is our locksmiths, if it's on a gas meter, our locksmiths will not go out and cut it off once it goes defective. That'll be up to you to get it off yourself or get your own locksmith.
Bolt
Okay.
cutters don't work.
Bolt cutters do work.
Oh, do they?
Yes, they work on this baby, and I have seen them work on these. Not that we haven't gotten that many in, but bolt cutters do work on this. You just have to have the right angle and everything. If you have a lockbox that's dead on a property, don't leave it there. Please come and get what we call the power paddle. This gives it enough juice, only on the old boxes, to open it up, change the batteries, and then release the shackle.
What if they smashed it with a hammer?
If they smashed it with a hammer, as long as we have the number here
Yeah.
or here, you can bring that box into us. Or if it's on the property and they smashed it with a hammer,
Yeah.
you call us, we'll defect it, and then our locksmiths will go out and cut it off as long as it's not on a gas
I'll
meter.
call you.
Okay? But yeah, power paddle, this will give it enough juice to open it up, change the batteries, and then get it off the property. You can borrow this for 3 days. There's no charge as long as we get it back. If we don't get it back, we charge you $200. All right, so those are some of the best practices. Now on to the app. This is our home screen. You all should be familiar with it. That's that green check mark right in the middle above you, nearby properties that I was talking about. That's what you want to see. We've added some key features for listing agents on the home screen, so you're not having to go back up to the menu bar all the time for the key things that you use down below. And then if it is a SentriGuard box, we've added touch and show as well. On the home screen, the home will always bring you to this screen. This is where you want to be when you open lock boxes. For an iPhone, your ribbon is down at the bottom. For Android, it's up at the top. The message center here, this is where you get your beginning, ending, showing notifications. You get low battery notifications will go there. If somebody wants to be on your team, you'll get an invite there so that you can share lock boxes. And then SentriConnect. If you do grant SentriConnect access, it will go in your message center and you can revoke their access at any time in the message center. So that's a very good feature with the SentriConnect. And then if you click on the profile, this is you. Make sure your information is accurate because this is what showing agents will see. And if you are, let's say you're licensed in San Diego and here, and San Diego uses SentriLock, you can add an account and toggle between the two. So you don't have to log out, log back in, or have two different phones. You can actually add accounts and toggle between them. Alrighty? And if you needed to change anything on here, you would click the pencil up at the top right, and you can change your PIN or your password right here on the app. Alright? We ask that you don't change your email and phone number on the app. You call membership because they will change it on their end, and then their computer talks to our computer, and we get that information. If you do change it here on the app, we're the only ones getting that information. It doesn't go back up. Okay? All right, so now to open the box. Oh, sorry, last thing on the home screen is that top right, the telephone. How many of you have had to call our support line? Okay, so that's how you get a hold of them. You just click that telephone at the top right. There's our support number. They are there until 9 p.m. our time, I think at like 5 a.m. our time to 9 p.m. And they're there to help you get into the lockbox as quickly as possible. Jessica and I ask that you do, if you're at a property, you call them first, because if we're with a customer, we ignore the phone. So we know how quickly you need to get into that property. Our speed of answer for March was an average of 7 seconds. So you're not on hold for a long time, and you're talking to a real person, and their goal is to get you in that property as quickly as possible. Okay, so now to open the lockbox. What you're going to do is you're going to press enter on that lockbox. It's going to ask you for your PIN, face, fingerprint. You guys have all done that, right? Okay. You get the success screen. If the key was missing, you toggle that on. If the key's not missing, you leave it alone. And then agent safety. How many of you use the agent safety feature? Not very, no, okay, one. We work very closely with the Beverly Carter Foundation to create this feature. What will happen is if this is left on, toggled on, in 90 seconds, a pop-up screen will come up asking if you're safe. You have 3 choices. You can say, ask me again every 2 minutes, and keep doing that throughout your showing. You can say, turn off, I'm okay, or you can say, send an alert. And it will send an alert to the safety contact person you have chosen. If you ignore that pop-up screen 2 times, it will automatically send an alert to that safety contact person. So it's just a feature that we've added for your security, and we encourage you to use it. Let's say at this property though, you know you're going to be safe or whatever, and you want to turn it off, you can toggle this off, and then the next time you go to another property, it will be back on again. So it's up to you. And then you press continue. You get the showing information. This is if the showing, the listing agent had instructions in the MLS, they would be up in the top box. Otherwise, they can add their own instructions through our app. I've put that there's an alarm and where the alarm is, there's a dog, whatever. You can add that into the SentriLock side and they will see that. How many of you from here have ever swiped left? Okay. If you swipe left, you get number of bedrooms, number of baths, square footage, listing price, and if you have RPR, you can click on the RPR button there and it will open up the RPR app for you. So all that information is at your fingertips. You don't really have to have all those papers with you. It's all on your fingertips on the app.
Is that fed from the MLS?
Yes, it is.
Fed from real estate?
Comes from the MLS, okay? And then if you swipe to the left again, you get the listing agent's contact information. So if you do have questions on that property, you can call or email them directly from the app. Again, you don't have to start searching through the papers or whose listing was this. All that information at your fingertips. A lot of people do not know about that. It's what we call the showing agent carousel, and it has been in existence since 2020, to be honest with you. So none of you have ever swiped left. No. So swipe left now. And then when you're done with your showing, you're gonna click End Showing. That's why we put it big in red. You click End Showing, return the key. Yes, you need to return the key. You'll press Enter on the box again, face, pin, fingerprint, and success, and then you dismiss it. What that will do is give that end of showing to that listing agent. Showing with NFC, if you do come across one of these and you want to use that NFC thing, you'll open the app, you'll click touch and show. It's gonna tell you that it only works with this lockbox. And then you hold your phone near the box and it opens and it's the same thing. So showing agent carousel, all of that information is the same. Okay. So these are the showing notifications. Beginning happens when you open the box the first time. Ending notification, there's a couple things that trigger it. Number one, using that big red button that says end showing. Number two, if you leave your app open and you go to another property, let's say you go across the street, you open that lockbox, it will trigger the end of showing for the one you just did. If you leave your app open and you have location services enabled and you leave a 1/4 mile radius away, it'll trigger that end of showing. And if none of those top 3 things happen, then you will get a 90-minute unconfirmed end of showing, which our system says it's been 90 minutes since they opened the box, they haven't told you they're done, so we figure they're done. Okay, that's what that means. A lot of agents are getting those 90 minutes unconfirmed and thinking that the showing agent hasn't put the key back. That's not what it means. It just means they haven't triggered an end of showing to let you know they're done with the show.
It doesn't automatically tell you that the key logins, that's true, because you can't tell.
How do we know if the key's back in there or not?
They haven't
We don't
put a
know.
sensor in there yet?
No. So that's, but we do ask that you trigger those end of showings, because also, as a listing agent, you can add a homeowner, especially if it's owner occupied, to get those end of showing notifications. They get basic information. Started at this time, ended at this time, basically you can go back to your property. So as a listing agent, you can add a homeowner to do that, and I'll show you where you do that as well. And that's why it's important to trigger those notifications. Okay, so now if you have a listing, you're gonna put your lockbox on it. You guys all know how to release the shackle. You'll click release shackle. You'll press enter on the box. You'll hold on to the box on both of them. You do need to give it support because that motor, and we don't want it draining that motor while it's dropping, okay? And then you'll click OK. You want to assign it to your property, you'll assign it. If your listing's live in the MLS, it will populate there. If it's not live, you can click Can't Find Property right below, and then put in just the street number, so 4667, and then submit, and it'll put it in a pending assignment. Once it's in a pending assignment, that's when you can issue 1-day codes or SentriConnect or flex codes with the other box. Without it being either assigned to a property or in a pending, you can't issue those codes or grant SentriConnect access. Okay? If it is live in the MLS, it will populate there. You pick it and you assign it confirm. And this is where if you click more settings, how many of you have ever clicked that one? Nope. Click more settings. This is where you can put that, all that information that you saw when we opened the box. You can toggle these on and off. This is the open text box you can put in. And again, if there's an alarm code, you can let them know that. And click next. This is where you would put that homeowner information. First, last name, cell number, you can put up to 2. Some agents use this for co-listing. So if I have a co-listing with another agent and they want the notifications, you can add the co-listing agent here to get the notifications. Again, they'll be the brief notifications, they won't be the extensive, but they know that the showing has happened. So, and then you click next. And this is new. This is access by appointment. So, and a lot of people are turning it on by mistake because it defaults to turn on. You see where the blue is? It's turn on. So if you just skip through this, if you just go okay here, it's gonna turn on access by appointment, and people will not be able to open that box unless they have an appointment with you, okay? So if you don't want access by appointment on, you have to click skip. All right, and then you'll get the success screen and done. So that's how you release the shackle and assign your lockbox to your listing. All right. Access logs, you guys have all know those. That's on the top right there. Gives you your accesses. On the app, it gives you the last 30 days in chronological order. On the website, it can give you up to 3 years. So if you need to see accesses for before 30 days, you can go on the website. And then once you click on it, it gives you all the information of who showed the property as well. All right, keyless accesses. So these are 1-day codes and SentriConnect. You click on Get Access Code, top right box, It does, again, either need to be assigned to your listing or in a pending. You'll click the one you want to assign it to, and for the flex code, you'll put in assigned to, beginning and ending date and time. And again, 30 minutes up to 30 days for the SentriGuard box. 1 day codes, it's just gonna ask you for the day you want the code for, because it's only good for that day and it expires an hour later. You'll click get flex code or get 1 day code, enter your PIN, face, fingerprint, and then it creates the code. With the flex code, the SentriGuard one, it's a 13-digit code. First time they use it, they have to put in all the numbers. The second time they use it, they only have to put in the first 5 numbers. A lot of agents are not aware of that, so that will do that.
Will it still work if they put in all 13?
It will work, yeah, it'll work for both, but we've made it, especially if you're giving a flex code for 30 days, right, and they're having to put this code in every day, it's just made it easier to put in the 5 numbers, first 5 numbers. And then how to use it is there, and you can text or email it to them. Grant SentriConnect is next. You do have to go up to the menu bar, the 3 blue bars at the top left. You'll go to My Lockboxes, Grant SentriConnect Access. And again, it does either need to be assigned to a property or in a pending. So you'll click the property you want the access for. You put in their email address of who the vendor is. They then will get an invite, basically letting them know you've got access to this property, but you need to download the app. And it's a free app for them. They download the app. When they go up to the box, it will let them just press enter on the box and open the box. Once
Do
they
they have
have
to have any
SentriConnect.
specific kind of license to download that app?
No, you don't.
For like the
It could be for the homeowner, it could be for an out of licensed agent that, maybe you've got somebody from Reno coming down here. This is our answer to that part of the
Right.
lawsuit. So they cannot have a SentriKey account though. So it can't be another realtor. Like, you can't have a SentriKey
Yeah,
account.
it only works for that box that's assigned to them.
It will only work for that box that's assigned to them, but they can't even create an account
Right.
if you have a SentriKey account. Because
Right.
you're supposed to be using your app.
Just simply an access.
Yes. Opens the key door, okay? And again, it's Bluetooth, so you'll get the notification right away. And you can revoke their access. So SentriConnect is as little as 30 minutes up to 2 weeks at a time you can give them access for that. And it's just a more secure way of doing it rather than 1 day codes or flex codes. Because again, you can revoke it, you can limit them in their time frame. And then it'll send them invite, and then you click done, and then it's all up to them. And every time, if you use the same contractor over and over again, they only have to download the app once, and then every time you grant them access to another property, it will just send them a message saying you've been granted access to this property for this period of time. So, we really encourage you to use SentriConnect.
Is the message sent via email, text, or app notification?
Once they're in the app, it'll probably be, it'll be a text. Yeah, it'll
Text
be in the
message.
app, but also a text.
Got it.
Okay. Because they've signed up with their phone and their
Right.
email and all
Yeah,
that,
I
yeah.
just
Might be
just
both.
curious.
Alrighty, so now, my listings, this is another thing that has been added for quite some time. And if you do the menu bar, top 3 bars at the top left, you'll go to my listings. This is where your listings are. If they're in the MLS, they will populate here. But again, there's sometimes where you may need to add a listing and it's not in the MLS. Maybe you're renters or something like that before it's on the MLS, and you want to add a listing to our system so that you can issue codes or grant SentriConnect. If you click the plus sign at the top right, you can add a listing into our system. Put in the city, state, zip, and then we don't need the rest of the information, and then add new listing. It will put it into SentriLock, and then you can assign your lockbox to it, and then issue codes or grant SentriConnect as well. And so you would just assign the lockbox from there.
Just out of curiosity, what if I don't wanna sign the box to any listing, I just wanna put it on a property for some handyman to access the property for a couple days?
You can't give them codes, you can't give them SentriConnect. And now,
If it's not access to, if the box is not assigned to a specific property.
you cannot.
Okay.
But you can put it into our system, even though it's not in the MLS, and then give them access that way.
Yeah, I was just curious if the box had to have a property physically assigned to it.
In order to give codes or SentriConnect, yes. Yep.
Got it.
Okay. On the listing page, you can grant access there. You can, again, grant SentriConnect or get access code. Appointment settings, if you accidentally turned on access by appointment and you want to turn it off, you can just toggle that to off and then they can open the box. And then you can assign a lockbox and you can add homeowners to get the notifications here as well. So it's just another place to do some of the same things with my listings. My schedule, this is a new feature also that we've added, and especially for access by appointment. So if you don't use showing time and you want to turn on access by appointment, then you need to schedule a showing in our system. You would go to My Schedule, again, menu bar top left, My Schedule. You would click the plus sign, and then you put in the property that you want to schedule the showing for, and the showing agent's name. Click on them, and then you'll pick your time and the date for the showing and the duration, and then you schedule it. They will get a notification saying that they've been, that the appointment has been confirmed, and it's in our system, and it will show under your schedule there. But if you use showing time, those appointments should come over. I can tell you 2 weeks ago they weren't. IT says they are, so if there's anybody in here that uses showing time and wants to test this for me, I'd love for you to test it and then call me, make sure it worked right. Huh? It did work? Yeah. Yes, all right. So the appointment did come over and they were able to access the box? Yes, great. I had a ticket in there for a long time in IT, we were fighting back and forth, so I'm glad they fixed it. All right, so if you do use showing time, you don't have to do this part of it because the appointment will come over, but if you don't use showing time, you can schedule the appointment in our system as well. Okay, and then you can edit it or review it or cancel it if you want in our system. All right, so my settings, this is where you turn on your face. So a lot of people, just so you know, if you haven't logged into your app lately, everybody got logged out a couple weeks ago because there was a big snafu and it logged everybody out of their system, out of the app. So if you haven't logged in lately, you might want to do that before you get to a property, especially if you don't know your password. Make sure you log in before you go to properties. But this is where you can turn on Face ID. It may have turned it off for you, the biometrics. So this is where you could turn that back on. And this is where you can turn on that agent safety if you're interested in using that feature. And then the website, www.sentrilock.com. Same info, your SentriKey ID is always your public ID -GLVAR. So a lot of people forget that -GLVAR after their public ID, but that's your SentriKey ID to either log into the app or the website, and then the same password. And you can run reports, especially brokers, you can run reports on your agents, all of that fun information. You can generate SentriConnect accesses or one-day codes from the app, from the website, and a little bit more. So on the website itself, first thing I'm going to show you is your listings. If you click on listings, all of your listings that are in the MLS will populate here. If you want to add a listing, you would click add listing. But if you wanted to turn on or off that access by appointment, if you click on the ellipsis with the 3 dots on the far right next to your listing, you can then enable ABA there. Or if it's already enabled, you'll see disable ABA and you want to disable it. And you can do SentriConnect and all of those other things there as well. So that's my listings. My schedule, same thing. You would click on the schedule, click schedule a showing, and then put in the listing address, the showing agent's info, and pick your time and date, and it will show up on your calendar as well in our system.
What does ABA stand for?
Access by appointment. Okay? And then, my lock boxes, if you click on my lock boxes, this will give you your inventory of lock boxes. I really encourage you to go through and check the serial numbers, make sure you actually have your boxes. If you don't and they're missing, you can look at the event log. If you click on the 3 dots to the right, the system information will give you the event log, and you can look to see where it was last listed, and maybe drive by and see if it's still there. System information also will give you your battery date as well. So if you change your batteries on your own, we ask that you update it here. But this is where you can see when the last battery was changed on you, when your lockbox had the last battery date changed, okay? And that's, we're changing anything 2020 or before. I mean, that's 4 years. This lockbox average battery life is 4 to 5 years, although we had some in this morning that were 10 and they were still work, but they were sounding really bad. This baby has a 10-year battery life. And it has a backup battery on it to release it from the property so that we have less locksmith cuts. All right. And then if you wanted to add somebody to your team, let's say you want to share lock boxes. So our team's different than the MLS team, and then your guys have sales teams and all that fun stuff. Well, you get another team if you want. You'll click on the caret next to either your initials or your picture, and you click on My Settings. And then you'll click on account settings, and in team members right there, you can add a team member just by start typing in their name, pick them. Once you add them to your team with SentriLock, they can open your lock, they can share your lock boxes, they can assign them to their listings, and they can do 1-day codes and shackle release codes for you as well. I would suggest if you have people on your team that you don't want anymore, delete them. A lot of people forget about that we have teams and they're wondering where all these lock boxes are that aren't theirs. Probably because you're on somebody's team and you're seeing their lock boxes. Because once you accept being on the team, it's reciprocal. You're on my team, I'm on your team. I see your lock boxes, you see my lock boxes. Cool. Questions on that?
Yeah, I have one.
Okay.
So, the company I was previously with, I was the director, so I have tons of lock boxes in my app. Is there a way that I can remove them, or do I have to contact them to get off, or they're not all in my?
We would delete you from their team. You can call us, or you can go on the website and do it yourself.
Okay.
So if you go onto SentriLock, here, right here where you see Jessica Morales, if you click the minus sign, it will then delete you from their team. And then when you refresh your app, you won't see all those lock boxes.
Okay.
Or you can call us and we'll do it for you.
So I wasn't on a team, but I was the company, the person, the managing broker per se, even though I wasn't the broker. I was the director of the team.
You
So
might
all
have,
lock boxes were assigned under me.
oh, they're your,
They were all under my name.
oh, then they are yours then. They're your lock boxes. SentriLock, they're not by company, they're by individuals. And so if you purchase the lock boxes, they're in your name. The only way to get those lock boxes out of your name is to transfer them. And you would do a transfer form.
Okay, I'll clarify how they did that, but.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because if they're in your name, and you can call me afterwards, I can look you up, or I can look you up after class if you want. And we can look to see if they're in your name, then you have to do a transfer form to get them out. If you were just on their team, then all we do is click that minus sign and they'll disappear.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
All right. And this is our support team, just part of our support team. We're a lot bigger than that. They are there, like I said, 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. And both lock boxes only open at 7 a.m. and end at 9 p.m. So you can't get into them after 9 p.m. to return that key.
There's no way to change that?
No, there is no way to change that. So 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. are the hours of our lock boxes.
Did we get an extra hour? I thought it was always 8 p.m.
No, it's 7 a.m. to 9.
It was
Yeah.
9, gotcha.
I think we used to switch with daylight savings, but we don't anymore. It's just kept at 7 a.m. to 9 p.m.
To 9 p.m.
And that's even if we're the owner of the lockbox?
Owner of lockbox can open it any time.
Oh, okay.
Owner of lockbox can open it any time, but somebody else can't open your box after those.
Owner of
Most
the
rights
lockbox
have
can't change that schedule?
Owner of lockbox, you cannot change that schedule. Used to be able to a long time ago. Yes, not anymore.
Really?
Anytime, you said.
Owner of the lockbox can get it at any time. So if somebody's doing a showing at 8:45 and they didn't return the key,
And you can't put a
You
restriction
get to
on
go
there,
down
not
there.
open until 10 a.m.?
I'm sorry?
You cannot put a restriction on it?
No,
Until 10 a.m.?
no, no.
That's ridiculous.
You used to be able to, you cannot, it's by association
Why
hours.
did they
And
do that?
association hours are 7 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Why did they take
To
that
be more
feature?
consistent.
With the lawsuit?
No, that was before that.
Are they gonna fix the shackle horn?
I'm not sure if they're gonna fix it, cause it does, we put it on doorknob, it works, it fixed on the doorknob, so
Use the old ones.
it does. It works on the doorknob.
Yeah, but you know, a lot of people don't like to put them on the door because they damage the door.
But these new ones don't, because they're rubberized all over,
And
it's
also,
a lot softer,
when you have a key box on the door,
more
it's
theft.
a target,
I
it's
know.
a target for
Kick the door in.
squatters.
Yes, I understand.
Or you can't put them on gas.
You can't put them on area, exactly.
So,
So thank you.
exactly.
Any other questions? More questions?
I just had a quick question.
Yes.
Just, well, you were talking earlier about not leaving the door open on the thing, but, so when you do it and open it, you said to wait till all the motors are done before closing it.
Yes.
Is there something that happens once all the motors are done?
You
that-
should get the green light.
But if we have to wait till all the motors are done to close it, what's the difference of closing it then and closing it 15
Because
minutes later?
it can auto lock in the open position.
What happens is while you're doing the showing, it recognizes that it's open, it'll gear up again. It'll actually close the clamps, and then you have to open the.
Rerun
clamps
the motor
again,
to
open the
realign it
clamps
so
again
it will
before you
latch.
Close the box, yeah.
Yes, and so if that happens to you, the first thing before calling support is just act like you're opening it again, even though it's open. And it should realign the motor, but we ask that you don't do that. You close the box, do your showing, and then come back and open the box again. If you don't mind, please scan the QR code, let my boss know that I actually was here and did this training. And any other questions you have for me?
How about ahas? What is an aha you got about these lock boxes or the app?
That you can swipe?
Yes.
Find it more
Yeah.
information. Never do that.
That's the biggest thing that everybody has, when I've been
I
doing
learned
these
something
trainings.
new there.
Yeah.
You know what?
Happy birthday.
Oh, there you go.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mark. Happy birthday to you.
They don't have birthdays anymore.
I guess we're done. No turning back to Obama. No matter how you slice it, it's a choice.
See, hold it up, there you go.